Hey everyone, and welcome to the Convos with Anita Santiago podcast. I am your host, Anita Santiago. Please like, review, subscribe to the podcast on all major platforms. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are we talking about today? Don't be a dream killer. Listen, don't be a dream killer. So, what does that mean, and why is this important? I'm glad you asked me that question. A long time ago, my really good friend said this phrase to me: don't be a dream killer. And I was like, be a dream killer? Like, what are you talking about? I don't even understand that. And what I didn't realize at the time is that sometimes what I said in response to a person would be really negative and have the effect of maybe killing the dream or the thing that they were talking about. And when my friend brought this to my attention, I was like, I'm a pretty positive person. I try to uplift people and motivate people. Me, a dream killer? Like, that doesn't even sound right. But as always, when my friends point out things to me, I usually stop and take a moment and try to reflect on why they brought it up and what was happening. Um, and then how can I pivot and improve? Because my friends don't bring up things to me if they don't think it's important. So I know if they're bringing it to my attention, it's really important and I need to pay attention to it. So in this case, my friend was like, you just don't want to be a dream killer. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a dream killer. But what we don't realize is sometimes our looks, our words, our body language can shut other people down to the point that you literally kill that dream in that moment. And I think this really comes up with kids, especially with kids. So sometimes you will hear a child say something. Let's say they're playing with their toys and they say they want to be a chef when they grow up. And maybe as a parent, that doesn't seem like a good career choice. And you're like, no, um, being a chef is not what you really want to do. You have to do computers or cybersecurity or teach or something, and what we end up doing is taking that hopeful moment and turning it into a negative experience. And I think I would even go out on a limb and say that probably many children experience that as they share in their childlike innocence different things that they would like to do or accomplish. As adults, in our realism, trying to share information can inadvertently shut a kid down. And I was thinking, like, when we look at the world around us and people just not really being interested in things or seeming like they're just here, but they're not necessarily passionate about something. They're not working on something. They're not striving towards something. And I'm not saying that's everybody, because there are a lot of people out here living their passion. But I wonder sometimes when I see people or come across people that are just kind of here, I go to work, I come home, I pay bills. I go to work, I come home, and I pay bills. It makes me wonder if somewhere down the line, they were a victim of a dream killer and somebody told them, well, no, you can't be an artist. You can't be a sports player. You can't travel the world. What you need to do is get a 9-to-5 job and work there until you retire. And that's life. I think as a diverse society, we need to be a little bit more attentive and encouraging when it comes to people's dreams. Yes, there's an element of you have to take care of yourself, you have to have a job, you have to do responsible things. But To me, if you're living your dream or you're doing the thing you've dreamed that you should do or you should do, the other things will come into place. You'll have the money, the opportunities will come, and you'll be able to take care of yourself, living a dream. I feel like things like art. We used to have so many sculptors and painters and poets. You don't see it as much anymore. But what about pottery and glassworking and all the different things that comprises art? There are jobs that may not be as popular. For example, being a dancer or being in production or movies or film. At one time, those industries were pretty big and now they're not. And so if someone tells you they want to be a filmmaker, you might say, well, I don't know if you can really make it. I don't know if you can eat. I don't know if you could pay your rent. Dream killing. We have to stop doing that to people. We have to be really aware and encourage the diversity that we should be seeing. So in the vein of dream killing, I want to talk about college degrees for a minute, because I also feel this is an area where dream killing happens a lot. So in the news, you'll see these articles. Sometimes I have an app on my phone that like gathers news from all over the world and it puts it in the app. And I often see articles that are titled something like this: the 15 most obsolete college degrees that are no longer needed. And you'll see things like journalism. You'll see things like um, hospitality, tourism. I'm just thinking of a few that I've seen. And I'm going, we need journalists. Like in this age of digital media where their internet is full of inaccurate information, investigative journalism is the thing that has brought so many issues to light in not only in the United States, but in the world. We absolutely need journalism. My field, psychology, is one that's often cited as obsolete or no longer um, in need. I will tell you, working in mental health, we need all boots on the ground. We need all boots on the ground. Mental health is in crisis mode. You could turn out providers every year in psychology, social work, counseling, nurse practitioner, psychiatry, and you still wouldn't have enough people to deal with the level of crisis that we have in mental health. But yet somehow this degree is obsolete or no longer valuable. Tourism and hospitality, those are big industries globally. How in the world could those industries be obsolete? And I think as a society, we're saying, if you're not in these fields that are really popular and sexy, then you're no longer needed. And we don't need that. To me, that's dream killing. If you have a young person that wants to go into journalism, we should encourage that. We should encourage them to go into journalism. And you know what? If there aren't jobs out there for you when you graduate from college, let's teach you entrepreneurship and you have your own media company, journalism company, production company. And now you can do that thing that you dreamed of doing. It just may not be in a 9-to-5 job. So we have to really be aware of what we're telling, especially the children. When I was growing up, back in the dark ages, it was constantly poured into us that we could be anything that we wanted to be. And this is probably why Gen X, just why we have the attitude that we have, because we could try stuff and do stuff and pretty much literally, if you wanted to be a person that went on expeditions climbing mountains all the time, you could do that. You go get your training and that's what you do. But now there's all these criteria on why a person can't. Well, if you're not good in math, you can't do X, Y, Z, Z. You can't do any of those jobs. That's not necessarily true, because if you're not good in math, you can get better in math. You can get tutored in math. You can learn how to improve in math. So you could do those jobs that require a lot of math, like engineering or architect. You may not be good at logic. Well, if you're not good at logic, you can't be an attorney. That's a skill set that you can build and that can be worked on. We don't have to tell people because they don't have something that they can't be something. That's dream killing. So as you're listening to this episode, I want you to think about your dreams, about what you wanted to be when you were a kid, about where you saw yourself in 5 to 10 years, about places that you dreamed of visiting, trips you've dreamed of taking, foods you've dreamed of trying. And if you haven't done those things, you haven't had an opportunity to do those things, did somebody kill your dream? Did somebody say to you that is not a good thing to do? Or did they give you a list of why you can't do these things? If you've been a victim of dream killing, you might be entitled to compensation. Couldn't help that one. But if you've experienced someone killing your dream, maybe it's time to pick that dream up and dust it off and see what you can do about that. As long as you have breath, as long as you're alive, you have an opportunity to make your dreams happen. Whether that's a special trip, a certain job, industry, whatever your dream is, if you're still breathing, you have an opportunity to make it happen. The question is, do you believe in your dream strong enough to do the work to make it happen? Because that's the other end of the coin. Living a dream or going after a dream requires a lot of commitment, sacrifice, time, effort, energy. And, you may not be a victim of dream killing. You just may not have been committed enough to see it through. In any event, if you haven't lived your dream, you're not doing your dream, then that's something you need to consider. Is it time? Is it time for you now to live your dream, to pursue your dream? And no, your age does not matter. Age is only a number. I decided to change careers at 48 and enrolled in a doctorate program at 51. And that was several years ago. So age is only a number. It has nothing to do with your ability to achieve the dream. But what you do have to have is commitment. What you do have to have is the willingness to make the effort to do what it takes to make that dream happen. And the desire. And as long as you have those things, pursuing your dream and living your dream is very attainable. I think we should encourage our children and our young people to dream as big as possible. I saw a quote from Muhammad Ali, I believe it was, that said, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Why do we encourage our young people to dream small? They say, well, I'm going to open up a business and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And we go down all the reasons of why it's not going to work, especially for our young men. We say, no, you don't have the capital, you don't have the credit, you don't have the this, you don't have. Why don't we start with, okay, let's go look at some buildings if you want to open this business. Have you thought about how many people you need? Have you thought about how much it's going to take to get it off the ground? Let's try to find some resources to get you up to speed on running a business. Let's get you plugged into the free classes online so you can get up to speed on what kind of documentation you need for your business. And let's see how we can get you started Why doesn't our conversation start that way instead of instantly why you can't do what you want to do? I feel like there's got to be more dreams that people have, especially young people, besides being in hip hop, rapping, or being in a video, or being on a reality TV show or a talent show. There's got to be people with other dreams besides that. But I think what happens is once we kill the dream, what are the choices that are left for that person? Talent shows, rapping, being in a video. There's not a lot. We don't talk about pursuing our dreams as a good thing, a good experience. We talk about all the reasons why it's hard, all the reasons why we can't do it, all the reasons why I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, I don't feel like it. I would go back to college, but I don't like writing papers. You didn't like writing papers in high school, but you did it. You didn't like writing in elementary school, but you did it. Well, I would move to another city, but I don't know anyone there. You can build the support you need. Is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? What's your perception? Because if you're not willing to see that the dream is possible, it's hard to make it happen. And that could, you might struggle with that. If you've been the victim of somebody killing your dream, it could become very difficult to see, oh, yeah, now that it's 20 years later, I'm going to go back to school for nursing. And I haven't been in school in 20 years. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. You absolutely can. But you have to believe you can. You have to see yourself doing it. You have to say, I know it's going to be hard. So what are the things I can put in place that is going to help me get through this process of living my dream? And in this case, I'm talking about going back to school to being a nurse. If I know that anatomy and physiology was really hard for me, do I need a tutor? What resources can the school provide for me so that once I get going with this, I have more resources and support to help me be successful? Because the goal is to achieve the dream, whatever that is. You want to climb Mount Everest? Well, you start with your training and learning all about it, and then you go pursue that dream. But I think we have to be very careful in society that we pour into each other and speak life over each other, and not why we can't do something or why something isn't possible or why something shouldn't be. We should not be killing dreams. And for me, being as positive of a person as I am, and the way that I always hope to motivate people, encourage people to go forward, if I can be out here killing dreams and it was called out to my attention, then it can be happening in your world too. Because I don't think people intentionally go out to kill dreams. There are some malicious people that that do, but in general, most people don't go out to kill other people's dreams. It's very unintentional. And that's why I was so glad for my friends to call me out on it, because I certainly don't want to do that to people. I certainly don't want to go around saying, saying things or doing things or facial expression or body language that says your dream is not important and you should just give it up. We can't do that. With this economy and this time we're living in is very tough. We need to get in the habit of saying, oh, that's your dream? You want to create custom pottery and you want to have a pottery shop? Okay, the first thing I need to do is help you get plugged into the right people. Let's talk about your networking. Let's talk about your strategy. Let's talk about finding resources to help you make a business plan or whatever the case may be. You want to be a dancer. You love to dance. Okay, let's get you enrolled in some dance classes and competitions. You want to do gymnastics. Let's get you into that. But we should be very careful when we talk to people, especially when it comes to their dreams, and we should listen to what we're saying to make sure that we're not inadvertently telling people that, no, you can't do that, or no, that's not a good idea, or you shouldn't pursue that. Everybody is not built for the 9-to-5 job, the mundane, the routine. Some people are built to do other things, and we should encourage that, and we should say, hey, get out there and do it. You want to run track? Get out there and do it. You want to write a book? Get out there and do it. Don't be a dream killer. And if someone is pursuing their dream, and I just said about writing a book because I know for a lot of people, they have that desire. I don't know if it rises to the level of a dream, but they have that desire. If you know someone, let's say you know someone who wanted to write a book for a long time, and they're your friend or you know them, and they finally get the book written, support it. Talk it up. Share it. Help that person as they're realizing their dream. You can be helpful in the way that their dream plays out. So instead of being a dream killer, now we're a dream supporter. And when you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people supporting your dream, guess what? Not only are you having the benefit of living your dream, but you have this support around you that's feeding into you saying, you know what? This is a good thing. I may not want to write a book. I may not want to be an author, but you're living your dream. I want to help be a part of that. I want to help your dream along. So let me do what I can to support that. I'm going to attend the race. I'm going to attend the event. I'm going to attend the signing. I'm going to put it on my social media pages. Whatever I can do to now be a dream supporter and not a dream killer. I think this topic has so much potential to just change people's lives if we just realize that what we say, how our face looks, and our body language can really, really shut people down sometimes. And I think if we're all a little bit more aware of that, we can watch and be careful that we don't do something that results in a negative impact in someone's lives for years to come. So when you kill a dream, a lot of times when a dream is killed, that's it. Like, people don't go back to that space because it was too painful when the dream was killed. That's why this is so important that we all do some reflection and make sure that, hey, I'm not going around killing people's dreams. I'm not pushing down that I'm supporting, and that I'm a dream supporter, not a dream killer, because especially for children, you kill that dream. Oh, you can't be a doctor. We don't have money to send you to school. When a dream is killed, that thing can be so painful, that person never goes back to that space for the rest of their life. And they end up settling. They settle for so much less than they could have had because their dream was killed. And for people to come back from those experiences takes a lot of work. So let's make sure in our circles, amongst our friends and families, that we're promoting people's dreams. We're encouraging people to talk about their dreams. We're saying, hey, if you got a dream or vision, write it down. How can I help you? Do I have any resources? Do I know anyone who can be helpful for you, helpful to you, so that you can realize this dream, so you can see it come to pass, and I can be over here cheering you as you accomplish it. Yeah, this is really important. I challenge everyone to think about your circle, especially if you have children that you influence or talk to every day, nieces, nephews, cousins, siblings. Start encouraging them to talk about their dream. Well, if you could do anything and money wasn't an issue, what would you do? I'd be a sculptor. Well, that's their dream. How can we make that happen? How can we make that happen? How can we support? Dream supporting over dream killing. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by the Convos with Anita Santiago podcast as we talk about not being a dream killer today. Please like, subscribe, review, and share the podcast on all the major platforms, including YouTube. Check out the website, lifeconvos.com, Life convos, convos.com. And if you'd like to reach out to me directly, my email is convoscws@gmail.com. Thanks so much for stopping by and happy listening.